Welcome to Soul Therapy with Chelle. I am Chelle Griffin and I practice as a soul doula. I combine therapeutic knowledge and lived experience with a healthy dose of spiritual exploration. Feel welcome to join me as we learn and grow together, exploring the magic and wonderment of experiencing life on earth as a spiritual being. Welcome to our final episode for 2024. Oh my gosh, this year has flown. It's thrown me some enormous challenges and some really wild lessons. Growth that I'm feeling, the reflection that I'm experiencing is all encompassing at the moment. I'm noticing everything's coming up to the surface for me. Lots of sensitivities, particularly around like foods. It's that time of year we want to really catch up with everyone, and we go to places we don't normally go to, and sometimes it's just easier to eat what everyone else is eating rather than what our bodies need. Or we get caught up in the moment and we indulge and we're just present, and then, we feel it for the days afterwards. Our skin reacts, our digestive system is uncomfortable. So just be mindful, roll with it, be kind to yourself, and just enjoy those moments of celebration of the year that's been. And for this episode, we're going to talk about ways that you can wrap up the year of 2024 so that you can land in 2025 ready to embrace that year ahead and all that it will offer you. Bring in what you need for the year ahead. And ways we can do that, I'll go into each one in detail, but create space, write down the lessons that we've learned in 2024, start thinking of our word for the year ahead. Start thinking about our word for the year ahead that we want to incorporate into our life. Block off some downtime for January to clear our calendar, plan out our calendar, have a look at where we want to create space for different priorities and make that our priority. Book out a mental health day every month for ourselves. Decide closer to that day each month of how we're going to honour our mental health. And that doesn't mean remove this. Book a mental health day for each month for the year to come, and take a step towards a big dream. And then finally, I'm going to invite you to list a few things that you're really proud of in this year. So coming back to the first one, it's really important to create space to bring in the new. We notice that when we have that space, we declutter our life, not just physically, energetically too. We can start out by just cleaning out a drawer. I've been looking for something in particular the last few weeks, haven't been able to find where I put it. And so yesterday I was up early and the house was nice and quiet, and I started on my bedside table drawers. Cleared the top of my bedside table, went through each drawer, had my garbage bag and started sorting, clearing and going through everything. Of course, I found a few things that I'd been looking for, placed away in my safe space, but it had just gotten so cluttered over the years, and and it had just gotten so cluttered over the years. So I had to, go through the layers. Very metaphorical for the year that's been. But just, then getting in there and giving it a good clean and a good scrub and dusting and cleaning the space around it. I sorted out a bookshelf next to me, and I've got my summer reading pile lined up so that I can see it in the evening when I go to bed. I can mentally plan going through that pile throughout the summer. And my day seemed to really elevate yesterday because those couple of little niggling things that I'd been looking for. Of course, I had asked Archangel Chamuel to guide me and help me find what I was looking for. Thanks, Archangel Chamuel. He's just such a gem. Oh gosh, I can feel his energy now. It's just so declutter a space. Start with one drawer. Move on another day, and next thing you'll be decluttering the pantry, and it won't feel like this big overwhelming task if you just start with a little chunk of it. I know today I'm going to tackle another part of my room and create more space. My reading corner is covered in clothes, so I'm going to start sorting through those clothes and reclaim my reading corner. That's going to clear space in my head. It's going to calm my nervous system, and it's going to help me step into that new year feeling like I've got the space to focus on my reading pile, to focus on taking the time to just sit and be with my books rather than just clambering and rushing through a book because I have to read it. I love to read. I enjoy reading. So why not have the space to do it in that I enjoy sitting in? So number 2 on our list was write down 3 lessons you learned from 2024. They don't have to be like big and life-changing. They can be little habits that you formed. One thing I did was I started walking my puppy in the morning, and I learned that I have had to become a morning person because I had younger children. My kids would wake up early, so naturally I had to start the day early. We had school, we lived further away from school than we've ever lived before, so a little bit more planning and organisation needs to happen in the morning. Now, I am a night owl. I have been my whole life. But I've had to, switch it up and manage. And one of the lessons I've learned this year is that going on that morning walk with my puppy, I'm meeting all the neighbours. I'm getting to know different people in our area. And I'm noticing when I'm driving around the neighbourhood, like I'm not just waving to everyone because I'm being polite and friendly. I'm waving to people that I'm coming to know. And I'm feeling that sense of community where I live, that connection, and that's uplifting. I'm anchoring in where I live. So I invite you to think of 3 lessons that you've learned for this year. Write them down. Take some time to reflect. Really find a nice quiet space. Give yourself the time to really think about it. Spend the next few days mulling it over and see what comes to you, and then sit down and just let it flow onto the page, and acknowledge those lessons and really lean in and feel what shifted for you through those lessons. Then we come into one of my favourite things that I do every year. I come up with a word for the new year, and my word for this year was embrace. Oh my gosh. I don't know what I was thinking when I chose that word. I was like, I know exactly what I was thinking. I chose surrender for the year before, and my gosh, did I have to surrender. I peeled away many layers. So many wounds were reopened and activated and required a lot of tender love and care and healing. So I came into 2024 going, I need a bit of a break. I'm going to take the foot off the pedal. I'm not going to be so gung-ho about this. I'm going to go with embrace. Well, embrace, I learned, means being there, arms open for anything that comes your way. And the universe delivered. I've had some really big challenges this year. A particularly big loss this year, the loss of my father-in-law, who I just loved him so much. I love him still. I still chat to him. I still feel his energy. I still connect in with him. He sends me beautiful kookaburras, just like my nana has since she passed 10 years ago. And I now get 2 kookaburras always, visiting various spots that I notice regularly, consistently. And so embrace really allowed me to embody being open to whatever lessons I needed to learn this year, all the ways I needed to grow, to embrace all the people coming into my life, to embrace that some were falling away, and to like give them the space to fall away with grace and love and gratitude for the lessons that they taught me, and that I was able to show up for their lessons. The soul contracts that we committed to before coming back into Earthside for this incarnation. So when choosing a word for 2025, just spend December just really feeling, mull over a few words. You'll feel words just popping in. You'll see a word written. You'll hear a word spoken. You'll notice a word coming up repeatedly. You might have 3 or 4 words hovering around. Just sit with each one at different times and really feel. And by the end of the year, by January 1st, you'll know your word. And then commit to that word. Welcome that word in. And in the new year, I will teach you a little ritual for embodying that word and really going forth with all that that word is going to bring you. I'm not a huge believer in New Year's resolutions. I was the one that, like, I would always start a diet on Monday and I would break it by 9 a.m. on Monday, because I don't feel we need to deprive ourselves of anything. If we have a need for something, then we just lean into that. I know for my personality, if I deprive something, I'm going to rebel and I'm going to take it back. So I know my thing is balance and moderation, and trying to really allow myself to go, yes, I really love that. I'm going to have some of that. I really need this. I'm going to have some of that, and balance little bits here and there. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions. I find them really hard to stick with. I find that I want to do a big overhaul and create a whole new person, and I'm a little steps person. I do the big picture, but I have to do little steps, little chunks. So New Year's resolutions don't really work for me, but I found having a word really does allow me to go into that year and discover all the layers that that word embodies and brings forth for me. Okay, so you've thought of your word. Now I'm going to invite you to sit down with your calendar just for 30 minutes. Give yourself some space, block it out in your diary right now if you have to. Press pause, block it out on your calendar on your phone, and schedule just 30 minutes sometime in the next few days. And then I'm going to invite you to go through your calendar and block off some downtime. Like, how wild is that? Blocking off downtime. It's necessary. We're seeing now in December how busy things are. School's wrapping up, work is trying to get done before the school holidays, all the celebrations and awards and Christmas parties and end of year gatherings, and trying to wrap up like taxes and paperwork and declutter the house through spring and into summer, and that need for cleansing so that we can start afresh and anew. So it's crazy. We know how hard it is to find some downtime right now. What if we schedule that in for the year ahead? I like to sit down and block out a date night with my hubby for each month. Like, yeah, it doesn't sound so romantic, but gosh, it's so good for our relationship that we know we've got that to look forward to, that we know we've got guaranteed connection time, space away from the kids, space away from friends and family, that we can just be together one-on-one and rejuvenate and keep our relationship connected and energized and prioritized. I also block out family date time, so a date with each of my kids. And my husband blocks out a date with each of our kids, and we rotate. Then we also block out family time. We got a new board game a couple of weeks ago, and we're all addicted to it, and we've been carving out time to play together as a family, and it's been beautiful to see us prioritizing that time. So block out. It doesn't have to be weekly. You can just monthly family time. That's not to say you won't have family time around that, but if you've got that time blocked out and committed to, it takes some pressure off in trying to find the time when the wheels are falling off and you're feeling overwhelmed and just needing some downtime. Block out time for yourself. I try and go on a retreat, a health retreat each year. Now that can look any which way. Take yourself camping, book yourself into a motel, book yourself into a retreat, book out a day, a fortnight, a week, a month, whatever you know you need and have capacity for. Take yourself on an overnight date. Block out a day from work that the kids are at school, and just allow yourself the freedom to just be with yourself. You don't have to book activities when you block out that time. You can review your calendar every month and then go through and go, oh, okay, I've got this date in April. I haven't had a massage in ages, or I want to book an entire day at the day spa, or I want to go hang in a library, or I've got a conference I want to go to that's going to fill my cup. I want to walk on a beach. I'm going to go for a drive for the day, leave the city, or I want to go to the city for the day and do some shopping. I want to wander through a little country town and have a coffee, and I want to go on a hike. Just find the time and then let the ideas flow in closer to the date. I know some of us aren't natural planners. I'm not asking you to plan your year ahead, just block out the time, and then you can come back in and fill in that space how you need. Family holidays, like we scramble and we reach a point where like we're desperate for a break. We just want to get away. We're all arcing up at each other. End of terms happening. We're snappy, worn out, emotionally fatigued, physically fatigued, spiritually fatigued. And we know we need a break. We need to get away. but we haven't made space for it. So sit down as a family and block out that time. Really prioritize your health, your well-being, your spiritual health, your mental health, your emotional and physical health. Okay, and that leads us into taking a mental health day to decompress before the end of the year. Just one day, have a think about it. Are you just craving that right now? Are you thinking about that and just going, oh my God, what I would give just to have one day to just sloth on the couch, lay by the pool. That doesn't have to be going away on holidays, just a home day. My kids and I call them couch and cuddle days. And they're allowed one a term, and they get to choose when that is. They play their card. I need a couch and cuddle day, Mum. And we make it work. We just make it work. If they're home with a bellyache or a headache or a head cold, we juggle, we make it work, we stay home to support them. Our mental health is the same. It requires the same priority. I find that my kids knowing that they get to call in a couch and cuddle day each term, they don't necessarily take it if they don't need it. It's not a freebie day in that regard. I'm not that parent that makes my kid go to school every single day. My eldest would disagree with that if he's listening. I was working full time when he was little. It was really challenging. If he was sick, yes, I would prioritize him. He would stay home. He might disagree with me there, but there's levels of sickness, isn't there? We've learnt that over the years. But I know with my other kids that we know when we're getting run down. So if we don't take that rest right away when we need it, then it's only going to escalate into something more serious. So we nip it in the bud. We, getting a runny nose and a sore throat. We know we need manuka honey, chamomile, lemon and ginger tea, with some drops of pine needle, and we snuggle up, we rest, we slow the body down, we honour what the body needs and give our body the space to heal. Why can't we do that for our mental health as well? We just want some quiet time. Just get up in the pool, go for a walk, keep the energy really low and gentle so that we can slowly rejuvenate and fill our cup, remove the stimulation, put on just a happy Christmas movie that you can zone out to, that you're with the kids enjoying that. Just between now and the end of the year, give yourself some space. If you can't do a whole day, find a couple of hours. Block that out, give yourself some space. Go back to my soul care episode for inspiration. And then take a step, big or small, towards a big dream. I read this recently and it just really, really landed for me. I am, like I said before, I'm a big picture person. I get so inspired and I start so many projects, and then I get really overwhelmed with everything I've committed to, and I start throwing things out, pressing the pause button, and I then go into this state of, oh my God, what was I thinking? That was too much. You can't do this. And I pull myself down. Enough of that, Chelle. That's not serving you. May have served you in the past, but it's not serving you now. Instead, I'm learning that I can pause something. I don't have to toss it away and label it as a failure. Maybe it's just not aligned right now. Maybe that project needed to get started for a lesson for me to learn, for me to be open to something new. start flowing. Maybe the lesson was learned and didn't need the completion of the actual project. Maybe that project's no longer aligned with my highest good and highest timeline. Maybe my interest has waned because something else is coming along and that's filling my cup more. And that's happened because of this first project. Maybe that first project is supporting, it was more of a stepping stone. So I'm learning to give myself grace and not see everything as a failure. I have these big picture dreams. I have wanted to write a book for so long. I am writing a book. It's taking me forever. And then I have these moments where I just go hard with writing and something comes together. There's flow. And then other priorities come back in. And that's okay. Maybe I'll get this book written, maybe I won't. Maybe this book is just meant for me. I'm trusting in the process. I'm following the guidance my angelic team is providing. And I just have a knowing that it will all be okay. So dream big. Think of how you want 2025 to look. You know, we have this idea that that the world is really hard, a really hard place to live in. And I invite you to reconsider and reframe that maybe the world is responding to how we're being in it. How does that sit with you? Like, really think about that. So I invite you to look at your world and go, okay, so if my outer world is responding to me and I'm the creator of my world, then what do I need to shift to create the world that I want to live in? So how do you want 2025 to look? And start with the next step. Call in your angelic team, your spirit guides, your ancestors, past loved ones. Call them in and ask them, show me my next step for my highest good and highest timeline. And you'll know. You might hear a song with lyrics that really stand out to you. Someone may say something to you that really resonates about your dream that you've put out there into the universe. And before you know it, that dream is chasing you rather than you chasing the dream. And what a beautiful way to go into the new year. And then finally, I want you to list 3 things that you're really proud of from this year, that you really want to celebrate for yourself for this year. And 3 things, and you don't have to stop at 3 things, 3 things you're very, very grateful for. Call in that gratitude and go to town, because gratitude is really going to take you through into this beautiful, beautiful space of 2025. New creations. So that's a beautiful way to wrap up the year. Thank you so much for your love and support and feedback to Soul Therapy with Chelle. Love to hear from you, so feel welcome to email me. And if you would like to work with me in the new year, I'll be offering online women's circles and one-on-one sessions for angel readings and mentoring, spiritual guidance, and of course incorporating Gestalt psychotherapy. Much love to you, and I can't wait to reconnect with you in 2025. I'm going to have a beautiful break with my family, go on an epic holiday, which we're very, very excited about. It's going to involve sun and snow and relaxation and activities for all the senses, and surrounded with beautiful friends and some downtime with my family, and I just can't wait. And I'll be back with you in 2025, ready to learn and grow and co-create. Big, big love. Until then, go gently. Thank you for showing up for yourself by listening to Soul Therapy with Chelle. Feel welcome to subscribe to my podcast, share the pod with your friends, family, colleagues, and neighbours. And please, if you are willing, I would absolutely love a 5-star review to give my little pod a boost in the algorithms. For further detail on how to work with me, please visit my website www.chellegriffin.com or find me on the socials. I hope you'll join me on my next episode. Till then, go gently and intentionally. With care, Chelle.